Oh my god, why are you just staring at me? One of the things that I got today was a candle and I really want to burn it. So should we just start there? It's the most fall. Copper leaves and it's soy. Let's burn it. Now we're ready. I feel like I want Boob to be more visible. Anyone that doesn't know that this ghost's name is Boob probably was just very confused. Strategically places ghost pillow. I made myself a pumpkin spice latte. Yup. And welcome back to my channel. For today's YouTuber video, we're doing another book club video and we're talking all things books. I went to Chapters today. I bought a couple books to show you guys. Stuff that's gonna top off the rest of my year and the reading list basically until Christmas. I hope you guys like books. If you're a book nerd, comment down below because I'm a big book nerd. It's been a little while since I've updated the books that I kind of want to be reading. When I moved from my old apartment into this apartment, I donated a lot of my old books because I either read them or I knew I wasn't going to. And so when I went to Chapters today, I picked up a couple new books, and by a couple I mean quite a few, but they're basically the books that I want to top off the rest of the year with. This year has been such a year for reading. First of all, I'm just gonna take a quick second to talk about how kind of shook I am that we're sitting here talking about how good of a year it was for reading, because I remember at the beginning of this year setting my 2018 reading goal of reading 2 books every single month when we were reading Big Magic, and then we read Witch, and then it was Light is the New Black, and there was a little bit of Eat, Pray, Love in there, and I just feel like it's been such a good year for books. And I've read so many life-changing books like The Power of Now and Brand New Earth, just in the middle of the cusp of how busy YouTober gets. But following the next week or so, things are gonna slowly start to decline again and my life is gonna open up a little bit more, and that means my free time will open back up. And I know that I can just sense that I'm gonna get into a big reading mode. You know when you just feel like you wanna get sucked into some good books? I feel like once the work picked up with YouTober, I haven't had as much time to read, so that's pretty much gonna be the plan. The minute YouTober dips down and out, I'm gonna pick up some books and read. So with that said, I went to Indigo today and picked up a few things, including just some cute fall accessories to show you guys too. I also got, I don't know if I want to show it, I also got my Halloween costume today. It's not really a costume, it's really just more of a dress, but it's for my costume, and I'm curious if I should, I don't know. We'll discuss that at the end of the video. First things first, let me show you my Indigo haul. There's been a couple books that I've read this year that have just opened me up to a new world or a new love of reading things that are kind of outside of what I would normally go for. So I grabbed a couple different variety of books so that I was switching things up. These are all the books I have to show you today. And then these are the 2 that I already had that I want to read. So this looks like a lot of books. We'll see if I can actually get this done in the next 3 months. Ew, 2018 ends in 3 months. Less than. Not sure how I feel about that. I'm currently reading Brand New Earth, which is in my nightstand right now, which is way too far. I'm sorry, I'm too lazy. And I'm also reading this fiction book. It's called The Lux, and it's by Anna Goberson. I picked this up right before I moved, and then I haven't really picked it up since. I'm not very far in. I'm on chapter, this is gonna be embarrassing. I think I'm on chapter 2. Pretty girls in pretty dresses, partying until dawn, irresistible boys with sly smiles and dangerous intentions, white lies, dark secrets, and scandalous hookups. This is Manhattan, 1899. Does that not just sound like an old version of Gossip Girl, or a throwback version of Gossip Girl? But afterwards, I'm thinking I want to pick up this book because it's a bit more Halloweenish. Oddly enough, these are not written by the same person, but the front covers are weirdly similar. It's called Nameless. I may have talked about it in videos before. I feel like it's kind of like a spin-off from Snow White, and that's why I feel like it'd be a good book to read this time of year. Not only because like fall and just Halloween brings up all like the characters and like all of the classics and things like that, but even just in general, Snow White I feel like could tie into like November. So this one's called Nameless. I won't get like super into reading all of them since I have quite a few books to show you, but to give you guys a general idea, it talks about this girl. She's like a battered child. She's found alone and she gets adopted by this godfather of the seven, the powerful families that rule the magic-ridden New Haven. And basically when she turns 16, she gets a bit older, she finds these like scars on her and she confides in her friends and like this boy, and she ends up starting to like unravel the history of like who she really is in her past. And she's mortal, but she's in this magic world and she's trying to figure out like where's she from and all this crazy stuff. She starts to uncover the secrets of her birth and the mysterious white-robed woman who calls from beneath New Haven's twisted streets. So it just kind of sounds a little bit like a really crazy magical spin-off of Snow White. So that's the other book. Those are the two that I already had, and those are two of my fictions. And next up on the list, and then the book haul I did today. I'm so excited about all of these that I don't even know where to start. So I recently picked up The Dark Between Stars by Atticus. It's a poem book and I really, really like it. I've been getting super into poetry books again, solely because, okay, don't want to dabble into this topic yet. Oh, we're just turning this into like a big life update book related video. This is just so many layers. But Dancing with Elephants has actually turned into a bit more of like an open journal slash poem book, and it's not strictly just poems. It's more so, I would say, like open journals is the best way to describe it, but it was really hard for me to kind of lace it together while I was going through all my journal posts and trying to kind of convert them into a story. So instead I just decided to rewrite my journal posts. It's one of those things that now that I've, you know, let Catcher be born into the world, I feel like Dancing with Elephants is like a super personal book that I'm going to be releasing. So I think that's why I've been getting super into poetry books, because they inspire me to be a little bit more vulnerable and open with my writing. So I decided to also pick up I Am Her Tribe. And this, like, I follow the I Am Her on Twitter and on Instagram. And every time that account posts anything, I think it's one girl, yeah, Danielle Dobie. Everything she posts is just so, it really gets me in the feels. Like a normal poem book, it's all white. It's got this like textured I am her on the front. I am her tribe. Open heart with backbone. Fall hard and often. There is beauty in the heart's gravity. Your true north is also the direction of love. Watch where your heart gravitates. Books like this are also just super good. If you guys aren't super into reading, but you're watching this because you're just like a true diehard YouTuber fan and like a Co's crew member, then bless your soul for even still being here. Hey, I will cheers to you. Thank you for watching, even though you're not into books. But I would recommend a book like this for those of you guys that don't really love to like read stories, because they're honestly just short little poems. You can throw books like this, because they're so small, in a bag, in your purse, for planes and things like that. Whenever you're just like stuck in lines and you're bored, it's a better habit to pull out something like this than to pull out your phone. And it's a good conversation starter. I feel like when you're on your phone, no one wants to be like, hey. If you're just like sitting and reading a book, a lot of the times, like I remember one time I was reading the Four Agreements in a lobby and someone was like, hey, I read that book, and we ended up having this just like huge chat about it, versus if I had just been sitting on my phone. The other book I decided to pick up is a little bit different than what I usually pick up. It's called Make Blackout Poetry. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of blackout poetry, but like I said, I've been getting super into poetry lately, and this book is basically just a massive collection of newspaper articles and just like things like that. And what you do is you take a Sharpie and you block out like a bunch of letters so that all that's left strings together into a poem. Actually, the front page will show you. Notice how it takes a Sharpie and like takes off different words, so it leaves you with what you're actually supposed to read. So for instance, if I were to take this, it's like a little fairy tale, but I would take a Sharpie and I would delete basically a bunch of words until all that's left was a strung together poem that I kind of invented out of this. So that's blackout poetry. You can do it with newspaper articles, you can do it with like anything really, you can even do it with books. But I just thought that this was cool that it's like a collection of a bunch of old like newspapers and things like that that you can do it yourself. So this is my new like activity book, I guess you might say, and it just kind of gets your brain going. I feel like this will be like a nice de-stress thing to do, especially starting now, considering I am in the heat of the YouTuber like stress climax of the mountain. And if you ever want me to update you on any of the poems I end up making out of this or anything like that, even my books, we'll talk about this later, but I'm debating kind of picking up more daily vlogging. So if you ever want updates on anything I talk about in videos from here on out, please just comment down below and thumbs up if you see a comment of things that you want updates on, because I'm gonna be taking a lot of those into account and popping you guys up more on the screen for that. But like I said, a topic for a further discussion, because the vlogging thing is something we need to really dive into that topic, but not today. Okay, so next, to get you guys in the spookier vibe, I have 2 self-help books to show you guys, and then I have 2 fictions. So the first one I decided to pick up was called Faux. It was one of the recommended ones at Indigo, and I'm like 99.9% sure it's about aliens, which, if you guys didn't listen to it already, the latest podcast episode for Coffee Talk is all about aliens. I will link it down below. It's my Coffee Talk podcast with Studio 71 and Castbox. All the links will be down below. Week 1, we talked about whether or not I'm getting haunted again and just a bunch of really spooky ghost stories. And then this week we were talking about aliens. Next week could be witches, could be zombies, could be serial killers. You should jump on that podcast train. This one is basically about this just quiet, happy married couple off on their farm in the middle of nowhere, just enjoying their life. They're just doing their thing, and then what you might guess is exactly what happens. A stranger shows up from the city and says that Junior, which is the husband, has randomly been selected to travel far away from the farm. Very far away. Arrangements have already been made so that when he leaves, Hen, which is his wife, won't have a chance to miss him at all because she won't be left alone. Not even for a moment. Like, there's just so much, like, I need to know what happens. Even though I really want to read Nameless after Lux, I think I might read this alien one first because I've been really into aliens lately. And then the other book I picked up, and it was solely because it was on sale, but also because George Orwell is an author that 1984 is a book that I wanted to read for a while, but I read Animal Farm already. I read it in high school, and I feel like it's one of those things that when you're told to read something in high school, you don't appreciate it as much as you think you will. Like, I appreciated The Great Gatsby in high school, and I appreciated To Kill a Mockingbird, but I remember when I had to read Animal Farm, I was just like, no. So now that I'm older and I appreciate reading more, I feel like I want to go back to those classic stories that just, like, you know what I mean? They're classics for a reason. So I picked up this. It's got both of the books in one, and I just thought it was like a cool addition. And it kind of matches the other book I'm going to tell you guys about. So I also picked up 2 nonfiction, like not necessarily self-help. I guess like this one's more health related and this one's more mind related. I didn't really pick up like a spirit book. Like I feel like I picked up a body book, a mind book, unless actually I Am Her Tribe is like a spirit book. So we got all 3. But Hyper Focus is the first like nonfiction I'm going to tell you guys about. So it's how to be productive in a world full of distraction. This book is not normally the kind of book that I go grasping for at chapters, okay? I pick a book, I hate to admit it, but by the cover. Like when I look at things and I'm like this called me to it because I was like, what is that? It doesn't even have a title. And then I saw and I was like, whoa. I'm normally really into reading a bit more spiritual books like Power of Now and Brand New Earth. They're all very mind-opening. They're all very, you know, the concept of the whole world and things like that. And I find that I get so sucked in and so lost in those books. Like I love Eckhart Tolle and I loved Sacred Powers by David G. It's like one of my favorite books ever. And even just Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert was just like, yes. But I normally don't pick up books like this. Like I've read The Power of Habit. I don't know, I just normally kind of don't go for like the more skill set type, I guess. Opening up your soul kind of thing is more so what I go for. So this has been a different pick for me. First of all, it's by Chris Bailey, which is a Canadian author, so represent. But in general, I don't know what it was, but I picked this book up and I kept on trying to put it back down because it was one of the more expensive ones that I grabbed. Every time I would like open it up and like skim through it, I was like, no, I can tell that I need this book. I'm about to be super basic right now, but I am a Pisces through and through in the sense that my head is always in the clouds. But when it comes time to like sit down and focus on things, it's hard for me. And I think it's also because I get a little bit of anxiety. So sometimes when I'm focusing on things, I'm so afraid that there's things that I'm not doing that I should be doing. And it's a whole thing, okay? It just seems like this could be a good one that isn't too boring, that's actually gonna help me master the skill of focusing a bit more. Our attention has never been as overwhelmed as it is today. Many of us recognize that our brains struggle to multitask. Hi, me. Like I can barely even boil water and talk at the same time. So yes, despite this, we feel compelled to do so anyway while we fill each moment of our lives to the brim with mindless distraction. Also me, being on my phone and doing a bunch of other things. Hyperfocus provides profound insights into how you can best take charge of your attention to achieve the greater sense of purpose and productivity throughout the day. And then the more health-related one is called Eat, Move, Think. So I don't think this is a vegan one per se, but I just kind of skimmed through it and it just seems like a good refresher on just, I don't know, on how to just take care of yourself. Not that I don't know how to do that, but I just love reading books like this that kind of inspire you to live your healthiest, best life. And, you know, barbecue, oh my God, that is a massive spider. Ew! Oh, look at him. He's like in my window. Ew! It's so big. There's been so many distractions in today's video. I really need to freaking focus. Damn it, Chris, teach me your skills. Anyways, I just feel like it's super important to kind of keep a refresher and reading things like this. It's things that are just kind of like, you already know, but it kind of just like topless man brushing off his freaking balcony. Like, the thing I like about it is when I was skimming through it, I noticed it wasn't just about like physical health either. I'm so stressed out that I can't work productively. What should I do? And it just tells you exactly what you should do. Can what I eat affect my mental health? Like, this is just really cool information that is gonna be easy to read. Each little chapter is only like 2 or 3 pages long and each of them has like a what should I do or what does this mean or whatever. And it's all health related. So that is the other book that I picked up. Okay, and then last but not least, I picked up a few accessories. As I already told you guys, the candle I bought back there called Copper Leaves. It also smells amazing, by the way. It's been burning for a good 30 minutes that I've been, almost 40 minutes that I've been filming this. But I also picked up another candle. Ever since we talked about it in the fall haul, I've been on the hunt for just like more soy, just like healthier fall candles. And so I found this one at Indigo too. It's called Ginger Pumpkin Spice. The little jar that it's in is gorgeous. I feel like we're just in such a good pocket of the year, you know? Like, fall is here, we haven't had Halloween yet, the trees are just turning their like perfect blood red color, and then once all the leaves fall, we kind of get a little sad in November, but then it's Christmas, so everybody's just like happy again. I decorate for Christmas early, so Christmas is like a 2-month thing for me. Speaking of which, is it too soon? Ever since we talked about growing the sunflower, which I have updates, he's coming out of the dirt right there. Like, it's so barely there, but it's enough that I'm like, he's birthing. We decided on a name yet? I know a lot of you guys were saying Sunny, but I also saw someone said Cher, and I was like, the dress I got today was also for my Halloween costume where I'm gonna be Cher. That's why I'm like, should we call the sunflower Cher? But I actually picked this up at Indigo as well. It was only 10 bucks, and then once you actually plant it like this, breaks down into fertilizer. So it's super cute. If you guys live in Canada, check out Chapters in Indigo if you guys wanna grow your Christmas tree with me, because I'm not gonna plant this until a video in November. Like, I don't know, we can figure out when we want to, but that gives you guys some time to pick one up. And then last but not least, I'm sure you will not be surprised, pair of reading socks, because they did not have black the last time I went. Like, in terms of the big baggy ones, and I get this question so much from you guys, is where do I get my reading socks? I get them from Indigo/Chapters. They have such a cute collection, and that's like the first place and the only place I've found them so far, but I like it because I feel like I'm wearing slippers, but I'm really just wearing socks. This turned into like an iced latte, but it's kind of hot out today, so it's cool. I'm digging it. We're making it work. So that is it for my fall/winter or end of the year reading list. Leave a comment down below. Do you guys have a reading list for the end of the year? What books are you reading right now? What books do you want to read? Are any of the books that I just talked about officially on your list? Or have you read them? And if you have, please don't ruin them for me. And aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's book club video. I hope that you guys are all having the warmest, coziest little YouTuber day. And I will see all of you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys.
Thank you.